Empathy is the starting point for creating a community and taking action. It's the impetus for creating change. A quote by Max Carver. Empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and be able to relate to the way another person feels. We all share this unique ability, and it is applied in so many aspects of our lives. In restaurant culture, it is a driving force in creating an environment that allows for both workers and clientele to learn more about each other, to understand each other, to feel for each other. The restaurant I manage, the Boiling Crab, takes pride in using the tool of empathy to create a successful environment for both the staff providing the experience and the clientele indulging in the experience. Being in the restaurant industry for almost 8 years, training countless employees and supervisors from the bottom up, and now being an acting manager for the Boiling Crab, I know a thing or two about restaurants and how they function in general. I'm going to take you on a journey through our restaurant and who we are, how our restaurant culture is driven by empathy for our clientele, and how empathy is utilized to optimize work performance from our staff. So let's just take a quick look and talk about how we work, right? You walk in, you're a customer, and you're greeted by a host, and they pull out this long butcher paper and go and seat you at a table. The butcher paper is your plate, essentially. We don't encourage any uses of utensils. Our motto is to get down and dirty with your hands. It's very simple, 3-step process, right? You pick a seafood, you pick a flavor, and then you pick a spice. After you've done that, all your food comes out in a bag, we dump it on the table, and we eat and enjoy. You know, the one thing is that for every restaurant, no matter how unique the experience may be, there are issues that arise. For example, people getting grossed out by the heads of the shrimp or something of that nature, or food not coming out properly, food temperatures not being adequate enough. And this is when a conversation happens between customer and manager. And it's my duty to use empathy as a tool to really try and subside and relate to the customer. And this brings me to my next point. I'll never forget the time where I got a call from a customer. This was mid-pandemic, and she told me that, she always orders from us. She's a frequent customer, and she got king crab legs, but there wasn't enough sauce. And, at first I was like, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but, maybe next time we can get you more sauce. And she goes, this is like a vital part of my experience. I can't enjoy this crab, and I paid $60 for this. And then I sat there and I thought to myself, well, let's take a step back here. Let me put myself in her shoes. Let's use empathy here to try and really understand what she's feeling. And then I realized, what separates us from one restaurant to another, and it's really the sauce really makes the flavor of our seafood delicious, and leaves people wanting more and more. And I realized, I was like, if I was her, I would also want an adequate amount of sauce, and she had also offered to bring it back, and I said, no, it's fine. I believe you. I understand you. Let me refund you, and we'll call it a day from there. So I did that, and something amazing happened after. She had come back 2 to 3 times every 2 weeks after that, and she ordered twice as much food, which led me to believe one thing, reconciling our rapport with her really allowed for us to actually, 1, show loyalty to our customers, 2, increase our profit margins because of this, and 3, all because I was able to put myself in her shoes. I was able to successfully resolve this issue, no matter how big or small, And that brings me to really my last point. And before I segue into that, I'm going to just say that, our CEOs believe that our profit is a byproduct of our culture. And it's a byproduct of the guests and their lasting impressions with the Boiling Crab. So this brings me to my last point, and it has to do with empathy as it relates to the relations to our staff. Of course, the COVID pandemic has been a big test for our company, as trying to keep everyone safe has been our number one priority. Our business got hit quite hard in the beginning. We noticed a decrease in revenue, of course, because we were only a to-go operation. We're a typical dine-in restaurant. And we noticed the morale of employees because of lack of hours and because of lack of tips coming in. It was really at an all-time low. But what we were able to do is we were able to do frequent testing. We were able to provide hazard pay, free employee meals, for example, temperature checks in order to ensure that everyone was safe in the restaurant. And of course, following all the protocols and mandates that comes with the COVID pandemic. And once we ourselves as a company put ourselves in the employee's shoes and asked what the employee would want, we saw something amazing happen. Given that the pandemic hit us hard, we noticed that the morale was increasing. Performance was increasing. We noticed that employees were still happy. And because of that, we noticed that the restaurant was getting even busier. By meeting the needs of our staff, we saw profit margins greater than when we were operating as a full-service restaurant. Granted, the total sales weren't the same, of course, but the way we operated yielded a higher profit, which was amazing. So, this snowball effect really was perpetuated by a little something called empathy. The boiling crab functions like any other community does. When someone is sad, we try and make them feel better. When someone succeeds, we motivate them to continue succeeding. The concept of applying empathy in order to promote success in the restaurant industry is something that you, the listener, can apply to your own community. I urge you, next time, to put yourself in someone else's shoes and ask yourself what you would do if you were them. It's beautiful to know that we hold this power, and I think we've only scratched the surface of harnessing the power of empathy in order to uplift communities who desperately seek it. Thank you for your time. I know this ran a little long. It's all I can muster. Have a great day.